Cristina, for being on the Chat and Meaning podcast with me on this episode. And a little bit about Cristina, what I want to say about her is that she's been an inspiration to me since I met her. She's a go-getter. She doesn't care what people think, which I love. And she's humble, super humble. And again, she's a journalism major, nurse major, author, YouTuber, small business owner, and a dancer. I forgot about that. You were a dancer too. And I think you're a yoga instructor now? Yeah. Right?
So yeah,
That's true.
right now. Like,
but you have that in your background.
Huh?
Yeah. You have that in your background. That's so cool.
Thanks, dude. Oh, dude, I love you.
Yeah, I love you. Yeah, like ever since like through Christina's journey, like I've always been inspired. And then Cristina always shares like her experiences in whatever endeavor she like got into, like a small business. Like you tell people like, well, this is what I think you should do or whatever. Like you give your experience and advice, which I love. And I'm always like in your videos, girl, I'm like, oh yeah, I need to learn. What am I gonna learn this time? Yeah, I love that.
Oh, dude, I love you. You're so happy and no, you're always so happy and positive. I'm just like, yes. And I found out you were doing a podcast. I was like, dude, that's awesome. I'm so proud of her.
I always, and I wanted to ask you, like, you were always on top of my mind, but I didn't because I knew you were busy, which we'll get into why Christina's so busy. But I had another friend who I interviewed, actually, Adrian. He's all like, I was waiting for you to ask me. And he was like, the sixth one, I think. I was like, I'm sorry. Like, I'm sorry. But a little bit about our background. Like, I just want to talk about how we met for the first time. And what I remember is we met through our mutual friend, Joshua Ortega, who's a filmmaker. He lives in San Antonio now, which he's doing big things over there. And he made a short film called Cold Feet. And how I got into it was because I had Josh for a class. And then I think we were talking about film and everything. And we were talking about how, well, I told him I wanted to act. And he actually gave me that first gig to act. So I was so excited about that. Like, how did you get into Cold Feet, to the short film?
So I had this one instructor, and I know this is terrible, but like the people are like, oh my gosh, she's a bitch, like right off the bat. But this instructor was such a jerk. He was horrible. I think I don't know if you had him, he was this communication research instructor, but he also was like the film professor too at UTEP. And so he sent out an email for Josh, his film Cold Feet, actually. I guess, I don't know how that worked, but like, and so I replied because I was asking for like actors and stuff like that. And I was like, yeah, I guess I could do that. That'd be cool. And so I replied, and that's how I got into it. But that was like back in the day, like 2012. I can't believe it's already 8 years ago.
Yeah.
7 years ago? Yeah.
That's a long time. I'm so sad. And it's on YouTube, guys. If you want to see it, it's called Cold Feet, which is really nice. Which is really cool. So I played Christina's sister. Christina was the main character, and I played her sister, and I was a chola. I was a chola, and I was your maid of honor, right? I was your maid of honor. You were getting married.
And I got like ditched at the altar.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
I could play sad really good. Oh, okay. Now I don't know if I like finish my thought. I'm sorry. So the whole reason I ended up doing it is because we got extra credit because I was doing bad in that class. if we responded to the email, and I think I got like, I don't remember, 5 points something extra credit. I don't even know if he gave it to me because I don't remember what happened. But that was how I met you and met Josh, and it was awesome because we became friends.
No way! I thought like you knew Josh beforehand for some reason. I did not know that.
Yeah, literally, that's how I met Josh. And then
that's cool. Yeah, and then like from there we all became like really good friends. Like we all just kept in touch and stuff. That's so cool.
Like that was awesome because I met so many people that like I wouldn't have met like through that one random thing. It's funny how college works like that. But I met you and you're awesome, and we've been friends for like almost 10 years now. And then Josh too, we've been friends for a long time. And like everyone from the movie, I think I pretty much still have on Instagram or Facebook still.
Yeah, like Yuvia, she was in my short film that didn't come out, but I'm so proud of it still. It's true. Like you meet so many people.
I it too.
Oh yeah.
Hi.
That is so true, girl. I forget. I forget stuff. That is so true. But yeah, it didn't come out. I'm so sorry, Cristina.
It's okay. It was fun.
I think one of my friends who helped me on it, he made a short reel of it. I have to send it. I think I sent it to you, didn't I? This was like a long time ago.
This was a while ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll look for it and then I'll send it to you. But yeah, I
Okay.
appreciate you. Yeah, like Christina helped me like be acting in my short film, and like we just help each other, which I love.
Yeah.
The love of film, love it.
I love the film. Yeah.
So from UTEP, from college, um, you majored in journalism. So you got your bachelor's in journalism, right?
Yeah. So when I went to college, I didn't like, I wasn't the smartest person like in high school. I was a B student, you know, I unfortunately was like the kid who ditched class and stuff like that. And so I didn't want to go to college, but my parents basically made me, not made me, but they wanted me to go to college. And I was like, you know what, fine, I'll go to school. I was majoring in dance first. So I did like all the dance classes, like everything for a major. And then I realized like when it came down to it, like, I was like, what am I doing? Like, what am I going to do with a degree in dance? And like, no shade on anyone who has a degree in dance, but I was like, all you can do is be a teacher. And so I was like, you know what? I think I want to do something else. And like, I liked writing, I liked video, I liked editing. At that time, I was working as a makeup artist, and I started filming YouTube videos. I was like, maybe I could just major in journalism. I'll learn more about video editing, I'll learn more about photography and writing, creative skills and stuff. And so, yeah, I think we graduated the same year, no, like 2013.
Yeah. No, I graduated like a year later.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I think me and
2014.
Josh graduated in the same graduation, but yeah, I got my degree in multimedia journalism, 2013.
Yeah. So what
Yeah.
do you think? Because I remember when I was working at Channel 7, the local news station, you were still like in dance, I think, and just I guess just figuring it out, like what you were gonna do. So you ended
Yeah.
up interning at 7, but before that you
Yeah.
interned at K Fox too, right?
Yeah,
Locally?
I entered a K-Fox, and so that was super fun. I think I was just really young. I was 22, still didn't know what I wanted to do. I got a lot of really good opportunities, like internships, and then I worked at Pop Sugar for a little bit as like a freelance blogger before they got big, and so I made money off of those articles. But I just couldn't find my niche, and like I had this thing too where I wanted, if I was gonna write and if I was gonna put like content out there, I wanted it to be authentic and real and my own stuff, and not biased and this and that. And so I just couldn't see myself working at the news station.
What do
So
you
I don't know.
think? No, yeah, and that's perfect
Yeah,
because like news is not for everybody. Like it's good to
yeah,
try it, and then if you sometimes you need to move on, like I did, like it's time to move on. Let's see what's next, But like,
exactly.
what do you think were the pros and cons about journalism specifically? Because I didn't major in journalism, but I got a snippet of it, even though I did more production.
Yeah, digital and audio. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the thing with journalism, I think if you want to major in journalism now, I would say that you really don't even need to go to college to be a journalist these days, which I'm sure you can see. Like when I graduated and when I interned, most of the people I interned with at the news station, whether it be producers or writers, most of them didn't even have degrees. A lot of them just had experience and they started interning and like volunteering when they were in high school or teenagers. And so if someone wants to go into journalism, I would say to get some writing experience under your belt, start creating content like now. There's places now where you can write, like I write for medium.com, and it's kind of like a news source where people put basically blog posts, and it's super popular. There's like over, I think, 10 million users on it, and you get paid for your articles. Like when people clap for your articles, which is kind of like a like, you get paid. So I would suggest if you want to major in journalism, I don't know if you necessarily need to get a degree in it. I mean, it looks good on paper if you want to like move up and have that on your background. Um, but yeah, I would say just to start writing now, or whatever type of content you want to do, just start producing it now.
That's good
Yeah.
advice. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I get you. Because it's true, like you start interning and like even though I didn't major in journalism, but I could have been a journalist too. Like if
Yeah.
I moved up. Yeah, like you keep moving up. Yeah. No, I totally agree. And like for some things I feel you don't need a degree, but for some things you do. Like I
Yeah.
feel like I needed a degree to push myself to like get out there and do stuff. That's why I needed, like that was my why. Do you know what I mean? Not because I
Yeah.
wanted a degree, but because I
Yeah.
wanted to meet more people and like work in news. That was like my goal, I guess. But
Yeah.
I totally get you, girl. Like, I totally
Yeah,
get
no,
you.
totally. Not that I like regret that degree because I think it gave me a lot of skills. Like writing and stuff like that. And I don't know, things that I wouldn't have not known how to do. Like if I don't think, because at the time, I think when we were in college, it was just a different time too. Like 2007, 2008 to like 2013. Like now, like everything's on the internet. Like we don't have like Skillshare like the kids do nowadays. We don't have like all these innovative things where people are teaching things that are valuable skills, you know, that you can
That's
learn
so
online.
true.
It's
Yeah.
so true. And so like I don't know, back then that was our way of learning, but now if someone wants to learn, for example, how to use like Adobe Premiere, they can just go online, YouTube, how to use Adobe Premiere, and then they'll learn like in an hour at their house. And so you have like a 12-year-old making like better content than people who actually just go for it, you know? So I don't know, it's a different time. So, but yeah, I mean, I would say if you want to be a journalist, you start putting on content now. Start
Yes.
doing, yeah.
Yes. Such a yeah.
Create a blog, start marketing on Pinterest, and go for it.
And you can't care what people think. Like you just can't. Yeah.
You can. That's another thing too. And I had to get over that like when I was young. Because when I started making YouTube videos and I was like, I think I was like 19, I was like, oh, I don't want anyone to find out because they're going to judge me. They're going to think I'm so weird. And like people found out anyway. And so I just had to kind of let it roll off my back. And
Yeah.
so in school, like, that's it. Weird girl who makes YouTube videos.
No, I remember when you told me we were on Cold Feet, you're like, yeah, I'm on YouTube, but you didn't tell me how many followers you had. I was like, oh, she just started a YouTube. That's so cool. And then I don't know how, like, I think you posted something, you shared it on Facebook. So that's how I found out like about your act, like your YouTube, if that makes sense. And that's how I was able to subscribe. But it's not like you were showing it off or anything. You were just said, yeah, I do like YouTube videos. Like, oh, you're all humble about it. Yeah, I'm all, she has that many followers. That's so cool. Like that's so cool. Yeah, because you were doing YouTube and you gained a following, a big
Yeah.
following, I feel.
Yeah, like I don't really post to it anymore as often. I kind of want to. I just don't know what I want to post about. But at one point, I had like 15,000 followers.
Yeah.
But right now, I think I'm down to like 7 because like I don't know, people just unsubscribe. Like this girl died or something. I don't know.
I do remember you posting I don't know if you like I would love to pick your brain on this. I don't know if you get bored right away, but I remember okay, you have a following on YouTube. So and then you ended up stopping because I don't know what happened. And then you got an Instagram and then you had a big following there too. I remember like 7,000 or something that I remember. And then you deleted that Instagram and started a new one. Like what goes to, like why did you decide to do that, or like you just wanted a fresh start?
I think so. I think with my Instagram, I just wanted a fresh start.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was the thing. And so now I have my Instagram now, and it's like 2,000 something. I don't know. You know?
Yeah, I love how you just don't, you're like, oh cool, I have 7,000 followers and like, delete it. I love that.
Also, I think on that Instagram, if I remember, because I was like a long time ago, I was getting a lot of spam, like a lot of spammy stuff. And so I was just like, I don't know. I guess part of me was like, this is going to get hacked eventually. And so I created my new Instagram, but just a pain in the butt and had to refollow everyone. And so, yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that, girl. No, I did not know that. Oh, that's horrible. Like,
Yeah,
do you follow Let's Do Makeup, who lives here in El Paso?
I do. Yeah.
I do too. I love her, but she got hacked too. Like, I wonder how can you even protect yourself from getting hacked? Like,
I
she
don't
said she had
know.
like a complicated password and she still got hacked. So weird.
Yeah, I have no idea. I feel like hackers, I don't even know anything about hackers. I just know that they're able to hack your account and steal your information. That's all I know. So I don't know. I don't know how
I'm
they
getting
do
off the
it.
internet, girl. I'm getting off the internet. Just kidding. So moving on from journalism, so you decided not to do journalism anymore. Oh, let's talk about real quick. The pay doesn't matter. I think if you're gonna do journalism, you shouldn't do it because you're gonna be on TV. You should do it because you really want to tell that story. And I saw a lot of, I don't know if you did, but I saw a lot of girls while I was working in news who were interning there. They just want to be on TV. I don't know if you
Oh,
experienced that too.
no, I did too. Like most of the, not to say women, I mean, okay, I get it, but like a lot
Some
of
guys too.
people, I would say like a good 70% of the people that went to journalism school, they wanted to be anchors. And
Yeah.
like, I mean, if you're going to be an anchor, you have to realize that you're not going to get paid well. And I think that's why a lot of them would drop out. I noticed that too. They would start interning and then they would like ask like one of the anchors how much they get paid. They would find out, oh shit, she only makes $30K a year. Like I make that like at the mall. Like I'm gone, you know? And so I think that's another thing too. If you want to be an anchor, it's a lot of work, it's a lot of competition, and you're not going to get paid very well for like many years. But yeah,
Yeah.
if you're in journalism or writing, you have to do it because you love it. Because starting out, you're not going to make a lot of money. Even if you start a blog, like some of the top earning blogs, like it took them 3, 4, 10 years to start earning really good money on their blogs. So
I believe it. Yeah.
be
It's hard
prepared.
work. Yeah, hard
Hard
work
work,
pays off.
yeah, hard work pays off.
To go back to I love Hamilton. I don't know if you've seen it. Have you seen Hamilton already on Disney?
No, I haven't.
Oh my
I have
god, girl, you have to
watch it.
But Lin-Manuel, who was the creator of Hamilton, and it took him 6 years to create Hamilton. Look what a success it is, you know? So like nothing ever happens overnight. Like you have to just keep doing the work until you get there.
Yeah.
Or it might redirect you. When one door closes, another one opens. So,
Exactly. Yeah.
gotta go with the flow. So from journalism, Cristina, you decided to do nursing.
I did.
How did you decide that? Like to quit your career in journalism and then become a nurse?
So actually, like in this was a long time ago. My grandma got sick is essentially what happened. And I've always loved like health. It's always been like a thing with me, like staying fit, staying healthy, like, you know, all that stuff intrigued me. But I never thought I would never ever, like if you asked me, I never thought I would be a nurse. Never thought I could be the kind to like see blood or like poop, you know. But yeah, I ended up being a nurse. So I went to school because I saw my grandma get sick and I saw like what nurses did. And I saw also they're not gonna lie, their schedule. And I was like, wow, like I love like you can work, you know, as much as you want or as little as you want, 3 days a week, and you're helping people. And it seemed to be like a good avenue to lead into other things, not necessarily in the medical field, but there's like so much you could do in healthcare too. So I was like, okay, let me look into this. And so I did a 1-year program for nursing, which I was actually like, not to shit on us creative people, but I was surprised I even got in because I was the only like multimedia journalism major. Like everybody had degrees like in biology, or they like were people who were trying to get into medical school but like didn't. Or
Yeah.
you know, they were all people that were like science, and I was in there like, oh, multimedia journalism, damn, you know.
Oh my god, so much props. Cause
Yeah.
you're always so confident. Like I
So
would have never known that, you know?
yeah, so I got in. I did a 1-year program. I started working in nursing while I was in school, so that was really rough too. But yeah, now I'm a nurse. I've been a nurse for 5 years.
And you did it was like the fast track program, right? But it took you like
Yeah.
2 years? Was it
So 1 year
1 year? 1 year.
fast track, yeah. So it was like literally Sunday through Sunday. I think we had one day off some weeks, but we would go to class like Monday through Friday, like every day, like 8 to 5, like at the nursing building at UTEP. And then the weekends, I don't remember our exact schedule, but I know the weekends we would do 12-hour shifts at the hospital and clinicals. And whenever I started my internship, that was like in January, I think, of 2016. That's when I started working at Del Sol. I don't remember my schedule, but it was even ridiculous. It was ridiculous. I don't know how I did it. Like I
Yeah.
probably aged like 5 years in that 1 year.
Yeah, I remember like we would try to hang out too and like you couldn't because you were busy. It's understandable. Like you're aiming for
Yeah,
that dream. But that goes to show like when you really want something and you put your heart and soul into it, you're gonna do it.
exactly. Yeah,
And
you'll
you
get
have yeah, and you had your why because your why was because your grandma got sick, so you want to be a good nurse for people like your grandma.
exactly. Yeah, that,
Yeah,
that was my inspiration. So
I
yeah,
love that. Yeah, I
yeah,
definitely love that.
still
What
my
are the
inspiration.
Yes. I love seeing I still have my grandma too. I'm so blessed. But I love seeing like when you post about your grandma. I love it. It's so cute.
Thank you.
What are the pros and cons about being a nurse?
Oh man, so I'll start with the pros. Pros is like God, job security, like especially during this pandemic time. You'll always have a job, and there's so much flexibility. Like just for an example of one of the things that I do, I work as a float pool nurse, like with one of the hospital systems here, and I can work. My maximum is I have to work 2 shifts a month, but I can work every day if I want to. But most nurses work a 3-day on, 4-day off schedule, so you have 4 days off during the week, which is like a super pro. And there's also like travel nursing, which I've done also.
Yeah, I love that.
Which is super. That's like, I think that's the most lit job. I'm trying to sound all professional. It's lit. Like, that is the coolest job ever, is to be a travel anything, because you go, essentially it's usually 13 weeks, just 3 months. You get paid like triple what you would get paid in a normal full-time job. You get all the benefits, like you get health insurance, everything. And if you sign up with a good agency, you can travel and work 6 months out of the year and have 6 months off, which is
Love that. Yes.
yeah. So 2019, I think I only worked like maybe 5 months out of the year. 6 months,
Girl,
6
that's the
year.
dream.
It was awesome. So yeah, that's the benefits of being a nurse, is like you help people. There's a ton of different ways you can go. Like you can become an educator. You can become a nurse practitioner if you want to advance your degree. You can become an anesthetist, which is the person who numbs people during births and stuff like that.
Oh.
That's a nurse. And yeah, there's so many different routes you can take. And if you don't want to touch people, you could even be like a nurse paralegal, which is somebody who helps lawyers in cases, malpractice cases and stuff like that, and they get paid very well. There's like a lot of just million and one things that you could do, which is nice. The cons, it's very stressful. And also the weird hours, like the sleep thing. I sleep a lot. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it for the cons. Also, I think in general, you're always at risk because you're dealing with people's lives for the most part. Not everyone, but not everyone deals with people's lives. But you're always at risk at losing your license with a mistake, or if someone gives you an order and something happens to the patient, you're always at risk at like losing your livelihood, which kind of sucks. But more than anything, I think it's more positives and negatives. Like, I'm really happy I decided to do it because it's something I'll always have, hopefully.
Yeah.
I'm a good nurse. I'm very careful, thank God. But it's like I'll always have it to fall back on, you know what I mean? As a career.
Which I love. And I see you more happier now because you aim to have that freedom, and I aim to have that freedom now. I don't want to be working all the time. I don't want to be going to, like, if I was still in Muse, I would be at work right now, 2 to 10 every day. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it's so inspiring. I do want to ask you this. I have a sister-in-law who's a nurse too, and I know she loves nursing, like, from her heart, and I know you do too. Like, I know you're a good nurse already. Like, you would take care of your patient. But is there like some nurses who are just there for the money?
Yes.
Oh,
And it sucks because
yeah.
it's good money. I think you make more money if you are a better nurse, and you like the ones who make more money, I think, deserve to make more money. Like the nurses who do float pool, the ones who travel, the ones who do the contracts, they make more money, but usually they're the better nurses. But there's nurses who definitely, I feel like, don't really care. And it's kind of sad because it's not like a job where you even make that much money to be there for the money, you know? Like, you
Yeah.
have to like people. You have to want to make a difference to be a nurse. But it's sad. There are some nurses that suck.
Ugh,
It's
that
okay.
irks me. Yeah, that irks me
Yeah.
because, like, what if that's like me in there, or like you or my friend or my grandma, whatever, and then you're
Right.
being mistreated by a nurse? Like, that's just heartbreaking. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I
I,
mean, to be honest, now it's like less often. Like, I've noticed, not just because of the pandemic, but I've noticed it's been more, there's more good nurses than bad, especially in El Paso. Like, a lot of my coworkers are really good. And
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, Christina's the best. I know she'll take care of you. And my sister-in-law too. She's awesome.
Yeah, we're awesome.
Yeah. But that's true with everything. With every career, I feel there's always a good and a bad. Like, always
Yeah.
good, bad. No matter
Yeah.
what. It's true.
Mhm.
So, did you have to work in a COVID section when you were nursing? When you
Yes.
were when COVID started. Sorry, I said that all wrong.
Yes. Actually, up until about a month ago, I worked COVID ICU pretty much the entire pandemic.
Oh my God, girl. Are you okay?
Yeah.
Oh, wait, are you
Yeah.
okay though? Okay.
I'm fine. I didn't catch it yet.
Yeah.
No, when COVID started, I was actually doing a contract at one of the hospitals here. My contract was just about to end, but the unit I was on, they like turned the entire unit into the COVID ICU. And so I kind of like dodged a bullet in a way to not work there. But then like I got this other job that I'm still working for float pool.
Uh-huh.
And so since I'm ICU, I mean, there's always the COVID and then the non-COVID ICU at pretty much every hospital. And I always usually ended up in the COVID ICU, which is
What?
fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's pretty intense. Like it's a different world. It's just crazy. It's
Yeah.
craziness. Yeah.
And you just have to protect yourself really like all the time. Like don't touch yourself or wash your
Yeah,
hands.
it's like constant washing the hands. Like and then two of something that I know. Okay, I did like a long blog post where I wrote about this on medium.com.
Oh.
So I'll send it to you to link it. But like, it's like talking about it in detail because it's like a whole thing when you work COVID. So first of all, we don't wear our normal scrubs. Like normally, I know your sister-in-law's a nurse. You can wear whatever scrubs you want. Um, we all look the same. I think, which is really scary for the patients. We all have gray scrubs on in the COVID unit, and we all have a scrub cap. You can't see our face.
Yeah.
I have a respirator, which is actually a pretty good size respirator. It looks like a gas mask that I wear in the rooms. And so yeah, it's like pretty intense. It's like you have to wear the respirator. Normally they give us like N95, which is a mask that helps filter some of the particles of the virus. But I bought one that filters more than the masks
Yeah.
because masks are kind of, I don't know, I felt like one popped off in the room one time when I was doing oral care on a patient. I was like in the patient's face, like cleaning his mouth, and I just felt something snap, and then the mask fell to his bed, and I was just like, oh my god! And so hold
Yeah.
your breath. So I held my breath and like left, and they're like, "Where's your mask?" I was like, "It's at the floor." And it popped off. So after that, I went to Amazon and I searched like P100 respirator, and so I bought a stupid respirator.
Yeah. Oh man, girl.
So yeah, so no, you just have to protect yourself really well. Also shower, something that I've never thought I'd do because I'm not even the person who likes to use like public showers very often, you know? I would use them at the gym occasionally. But like we started showering after our shifts at work to kind of shower off all the COVID and put on like a new set of scrubs. That's like different too. So it's just like it's like a new world. It's just so
Yeah.
different at the hospital now. I don't know.
Yeah. Oh
And it hasn't
wow.
stopped, dude. It hasn't stopped. That's why I told you like I got this second like new job where I'm working with like a pediatric patient. I'm like, okay, that way I only have to work to keep this job 2 times a month. That way if I get COVID, at least I'm only getting exposed 2 times a month
Yeah.
instead of every like 3 times a week.
Have you gotten tested already? Or did you guys have to get tested like all the time?
You know, I got tested just because I want to go see my parents every now and then. You know, they're 60, and I get tested every 2 weeks just in case. And I never came back positive. Actually, last week I was super sick, and I got super sick, dude. Like I literally just got over it. But I like had fever, cough, sore throat, like
Yeah.
all the symptoms. I was like I have it. Like I caught COVID, and I haven't even been to the hospital. So I was like, I probably caught it at Walgreens or something. You know,
Yeah.
was my
Yeah.
and so I got tested, but I was negative. But no, I get tested every 2 weeks just because to be like careful. Also
Yeah.
because of the little boy I take care of too, he's like very sensitive too, and I want to protect him. So I get tested every 2 weeks.
Yeah. That's good. That is
Yeah.
so good. You're protecting yourself and others, so that's super
Yeah.
good. So, meanwhile, like, you're still a nurse, which is good, but while being a nurse, you like got into other adventures as well, and we could talk about it one by one. So the first one I want to get into is Cristina is an author, and she wrote a book called All My Boys, and I bought a hard copy, and there she is right there. So,
So cool.
what inspired you to write All My Boys?
Oh my goodness. So I we're we're media people. We're creative. I like to write. Like I just love writing stories. Um, and so something that I would tell, like I just got into this thing where became a running joke with my friends, especially at the hospital, that I had like this bad luck with dating, like terrible stories that were like insane, like stories that you would hear of in a book, and they're like, oh my God, this is like a story out of a book, Christina. And people would continually tell me that, and I was like, I think I'm just gonna write a book.
Yeah.
Because I had other friends too. I was like, dude, just tell me like your worst dating story, like the worst one. So I just collectively started accumulating like these crazy, hilarious stories of like these wild things that would happen. And I decided to put it into a book, and it's all my boys.
Yeah, I love that.
They're all true stories. Some of them have spin-offs to make them more dramatic than they really were.
Yeah.
But they're all true stories, which is hilarious.
Yeah, and what I love too is you ended up writing this book, and you also published it on your own through Amazon.
Yeah.
How did you like find out that you could do that? You like to research a lot, right?
I do. Like I'm a big time nerd. Obviously I don't sleep.
You're so smart, girl, because I would have never like
Thank
researched.
you.
I'm so
No,
lazy.
funny dude, it's because funny thing was like I was looking up how to get publishers, and like I put my information on the book. Like you have to put a synopsis of the book to apply for publishing and stuff. And so it was funny because I guess there was this Christian publisher, like no shade on Christianity.
No. Yeah.
But I'm a Christian myself. But this Christian publisher found the title of my book, and I guess they didn't read the synopsis, and they were like, "We'd love to publish your book." And I was like, "Are you sure?" And they're like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Okay, like that sounds great." And then they're like, "Can you just provide a synopsis?" I'm like, "Oh, they didn't read the synopsis." And so I sent them the synopsis, which is just like very wild, right?
Yeah.
And they were like, "Ooh, this isn't gonna fit our brand." I was like, "Yeah, I didn't think so." And so I guess they thought it was a children's book.
Oh, I could see that. I mean, like, yeah.
I guess they saw like the cover and stuff. They thought it was a children's book. I'm like, oh no, it's not a children's book.
You should read it though.
You should read it though. It's super funny.
Yeah. That's so funny. So like from there, that's when you decided to just do it on your own on Amazon.
Yeah. So I didn't even know that was an option. And then I started researching myself, and I was like, wait a second, I can just publish this myself and like market it myself and share it with my YouTube subscribers, share it with my Instagram following, and it'll just be my book, And plus, I like that Amazon gives you like automatically, like you don't have to reach a threshold. So if you go through a traditional publisher, if you want to write a book, you have to take out technically a loan from the publisher. So the publisher will be like, all right, so we'll publish your book, but until we reach like $10,000 in revenue, like then we'll start paying you your royalties. So like they pay themselves first to publish your book, which I was like, no, because like by the time it reaches $10,000, I'll see royalties by the time I'm 40 or whatever. So like I was like, that's good. I think it's a good option to get your book published to a publisher if you're a well-known author and you know for sure you're gonna like sell that loan back. But for me, I was like, you know what, Amazon, so many people publish through Amazon and you get a 60-40 cut right off the bat. So
wow.
So
That's
it's like
pretty cool.
Yeah, so I was like, well, I'll just publish on Amazon, and if it takes off, cool, I'll just make 60%, and Jeff Bezos can have the other 40%, and we'll call it even.
And then you did it all on your own, and like you don't have to answer to no agency or pay anyone, really?
No.
So,
And then all the artistry and stuff I did on my own, which it's not really artistry. It's all very juvenile. It's a lot of stick figure drawings, but it makes it funny.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's what you envision. So it's like from your imagination. So I love that. That's what you saw in this book. That's so cool to know. And I never would have known that I could publish my own book until you did it. Like, I feel like, like through your experiences, I'm like, oh, Cristina did it. Okay, cool. It's legit. You know what I mean? Like, I even told my brother, because my brother started a podcast with his friend, and they have an idea for like a book thing. I'll tell you in secret. I'm just kidding. For this book thing, and my friend Cristina did it on Amazon on their own. They're like, what? I'm like, yeah. So I'm gonna look for your video and send it to them. But they didn't even know that until I told them. And then, so it's pretty badass.
Yeah, Amazon Publishing. It's easy to use and it works. Yeah.
I love it. Cristina, you rock. I'm like, Cristina, you rock. And then after this book, I mean, I'm sure it all happened like in the midst of everything. So you also were a small business owner. You created a workout brand called Barbella Apparel. So what inspired you to do that?
So I honestly, it was just kind of like in the rabbit hole. I go in the rabbit hole a lot, okay, where I'm like on YouTube just going on like this adventure of like learning other people's experiences and listening to things. And I mean, I've always been into working out. Like I haven't been doing it lately, but like, I've been into lifting in the gym. It's always been a big part of my life. And so something that I would get frustrated with is like my pants would never fit me right, like leggings and like clothes and stuff like I would usually just buy them like at TJ Maxx or Marshalls.
Yeah.
And so, well, maybe like how much is it? I was like, I wonder how well it would go, like if I were to make my own brand of stuff. And so I just looked into it. I found a YouTube video. I was like, you know what? I think I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
And so I just did it. And it ended up working out pretty well, I think.
I think so too. It took off. And for when Cristina started the Barbell Apparel, I was like still in news and I wanted to do social media. And Cristina let me intern for her, which was awesome. That's how I got my experience as a social media manager. So I learned a lot. Yeah, I learned a lot through your company and like how to work social media. I mean, I'm still learning, but there's always so much to learn. But I feel like Barbella Apparel did take off because you like interacted with a lot of influencers, and then one influencer showed your brand.
Oh yeah,
like in a video.
Yeah, there's this influencer who I think she strictly reviews activewear. Her name's Hope Scope. And I reached out to her. I'm like, hey, do you want to try a pair of leggings? Like, it's from this new brand. She was like, sure. And I didn't expect anything of it. I knew about marketing through YouTube because I did YouTube and people would send me stuff and I would mention it in videos. So I was like, maybe she'll mention the video. But she mentioned it in a favorites video. And it's still, I think she still has it as her thumbnail on that video where it's literally my leggings like on that thumbnail. And I was like, oh my God. And then like, I remember when that happened, like sales were like insane. And like, I was packaging and doing all of the sales myself. Like I didn't have like a warehouse or anything. So I was up all night, like packaging all the leggings, but it was awesome, dude. So yeah, that was super fun. It just came to a point where not that I didn't know what I was doing. I feel like I learned a lot about owning a business. I want to do another business, but I want to do it different one day. But I'm glad I did it because it gave you the experience of being a social media marketer and manager, and you did an awesome job. I really did, because like that's like a whole part of it too. Like there's so much that goes into owning a business, especially online. But I sold it because it was like, man, like I was working full time as a nurse, and then like doing the business. It was like having 2 full-time jobs. So I was like losing it. I was just like, I don't know what to do. I can't do this no more. So I sold it. And but
it became overwhelming, right? Like to do both.
Like I think that was like a lesson I learned too, is like don't bite off more than you can chew. You need to like have like things that are fun and endeavors and like careers, but you still need to live. And so like, now I think I've found the kind of the perfect balance. I'm super happy. Just work and then like that's it. I actually took a break from school because I was in school for nurse practitioner.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, and so with this whole COVID thing happening, I was just like, I was actually supposed to start my clinicals basically in the middle of COVID, and they would have basically been impossible to learn anything. So I was just like, you know what, I'm gonna take a break until it like blows over, and it's been so nice.
Good for you, girl. Yeah, you deserve a break. And school's always there, you know you're gonna finish.
Yeah.
So you can finish later. You can finish later.
I thought, you know what, it's enough.
Yeah. When you sold when Barbella Apparel, when you were doing it, like for you guys to know, like Cristina was doing the customer service, she was doing all the return or whatever returns or exchange that had to happen. She was dealing with all that. Yes, I was helping her with social media, but it would all go back to her anyway, like, oh, like send the email here or whatever. So yeah, I could see where you got overwhelmed, girl, because you were doing it all by yourself.
Yeah, and it was like the sales too are just like a lot. And they were the thing is too is we were worldwide. So we had international people. We had people from like Russia, from like, everywhere just buying Barbella Apparel things. And so I was literally doing it all by myself. Like I still have my label printer because I bought a label printer because I was packaging everything by myself too.
Yeah.
And I was trying to figure out how to like get things. Now I know how, but like to get someone to do that for you. So something I didn't know, if you want to start a business, just so you know, you can actually have things shipped for you. You have to like hire a warehouse. Amazon, fulfilled by Amazon is one way, but there's a lot of other like warehouses that can not only store your product, but also ship it out for you. But you just pay like per item. So that would have been way easier, but like, I don't know. I didn't know about that at the time, but yeah.
Yeah, it's a learning process, and you learn definitely along the way. And if you start a
Yeah,
new business, now you know what to do, which is
exactly.
awesome.
But yeah, no, I'm super proud of it. It took off and it was great. And I still see people occasionally wearing my stuff, and I'm just like, oh my
I
gosh.
still have your leggings, girl. I still have like
Yeah,
the favela apparel. Yeah, they're so
yeah,
comfy. I
they're
love them.
comfy too. Yeah, they're awesome.
I like them. And then, okay, so I know we talked about YouTube, but we'll talk about it again. How you became a, or maybe we didn't. I don't know. But where you were a makeup artist, like you were doing YouTube as a makeup artist on there, and then
Yeah,
right?
yeah. So this is like 2008, 2009.
Yeah.
So I got into makeup because of dance, because like
Yeah.
we had to learn how to do our makeup for theater and stuff, and I just loved it, dude. And so I started working at the mall. I worked at Macy's, and then I worked at some of the counters like Mac, Benefit, and all that stuff. And I just got really into makeup. Like I had an insane amount. I think at one time I had like probably like 100 eyeshadows, like ridiculous, dude, ridiculous. I was ridiculous.
Yeah.
And so I loved doing makeup on myself. And then I saw, I think on Craigslist, that there was an ad for one of the photography companies to hire makeup artists to do glamour shots. And I was like, sure, why not?
Yeah.
I'll apply. And they hired me with like almost no experience.
That's cool.
So it was awesome. And it was so much fun. And that's how I got into makeup. And then I was like, you know what? I started looking at YouTube too. I was like, there's girls who upload their tutorials and stuff on makeup on YouTube. And I'm like, I'm gonna start doing that. And so I started doing it like on my, like it was on an old laptop. Like I don't have some of my old videos anymore. I wish I'd saved them, but they were like
Yeah.
really fuzzy, like really poorly edited. Like,
At least you were doing it.
but I did it. Yeah.
And then from makeup, I know you stopped YouTube for a little bit, and then when you got into nursing, you kind of started doing like nursing videos, like advice videos, right? That I remember.
Yeah. So I have a couple of like nursing advice videos where I talk about like travel nursing and different things. I haven't posted in a while, but I try to post. You know, I do like creating content, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like with my channel, a lot of my subscribers were so used to like the beauty aspect of things, like the makeup and the glamour and the fun. And now, like as a person, I've kind of not that I've changed. You know, I'm
Mhm.
went from being like a 20-year-old to being a 30-year-old woman. Like I still use makeup, but like I'm, you know, not so glamorous
Yeah.
anymore. You know, let's just be real. And so I don't know what kind of content I want to create yet. I think nursing videos are kind of helpful too, but when I'm not at my job, I kind of want to get away from my job too, you know?
Exactly.
I'm just kind of in a weird place from like I do want to do YouTube, but at the same time I don't know what exactly I want to talk about. So
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I'll just use it as a channel where I just upload whatever the hell I want to upload.
Random. You should.
Random,
Yeah.
whatever.
You're like whatever. And are you still using that same YouTube channel
Yeah, it's the
for the
same one.
makeup? Okay, that's good.
Yeah, it's always been fun.
I just love it, girl. Like you really have inspired me. I I feel like I'm a go-getter now than I was before. Like when I met you, I was still this insecure girl who didn't know what she was gonna do. I know I wanted to work in news, but I wanted to work in film, but then I cared too much about what people thought of me, and I didn't want them to judge me. And like now that I've like, I feel like I worked on myself, and I'm like, I don't give a I mean, I don't really care. You know what I mean?
That's
Like I'm
good.
just
Yeah, that's good. You've done so much, dude. You've done so much.
and people are always gonna judge. Like no matter what you do, people are always gonna judge. And that's what I want to put out. Like, look at Chris like look at you, dude. Like you've done so many things. I love how you take a risk. And if it doesn't work out, you move on. And I love
Exactly.
how yeah, and if you don't want to do it anymore, you move on. And like I think everyone should be like that. Definitely.
Yeah, and I just feel like people are always people are always worried about what other people think of them, but the truth when it comes down to us as humans, I this is how I feel. I don't know if it's actually true, if there's any science behind this or whatever. I feel like people are so consumed with themselves. Like they're too worried about what other people are thinking. They're not really thinking of you, So you really shouldn't be insecure. And if they are, so much of a shithead to actually sit there and judge someone else,
Yeah.
I mean, that's your problem. Who cares? Like, life is too short to be worried constantly about how, others perceive you. I mean, obviously we want to make a good impact on the world. So, be a decent person.
Yes.
But who cares at the same time,
Yes. Do things
Yeah.
with love and do things that inspire you. Find your why and why you're doing it. Don't just do it to do it. But if you find your why and it doesn't work out, that's okay too. Like,
That's
it's okay to move on. Mm-hmm.
It's a part of life. You live, you learn, and then you can do something else or do it again,
Yes. Like, I'm sure you've got this too, like, where people ask, why did you get out of journalism or news or and people don't understand that sometimes you just have to move on. Like, it's just
Yeah,
one of those things, like, it's time to move on.
exactly. And I have people that ask me all sorts of stuff too, because even in nursing, like I have been somebody who's jumped from not job to job. That sounds bad, but like I've had a lot of different jobs in a lot of different areas I've gotten experience in 5 years. And people typically would perceive that as like a bad thing, but it's not a bad thing,
Yeah.
I've had managers tell me like, wow, you have such a great, like well-rounded experience. And some people stick it to the same job for like 10 years. I'll never understand this, for 10 to 15 years. And I can't really talk about it because like my mom did that and, people in our older generation did that. But I feel like we're living in a time where it's so much more valuable to have a good, well-rounded experience in different areas career-wise. So if it's not working out for you, if you're miserable in your job, leave.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Yes.
Yeah.
Because I found myself like, I would work every job. Like, since I started news, I would stay there 2.5 years. I even went to work with your mom, girl.
Yeah.
Like, I went there for like 9 months, I think, or less. But like, because I was getting bored. Like, okay, what's next? I'm bored. What's next? I'm bored. Or like, well, the past like 5 years, like I would stay at a job for 2.5 years. I'm like, wow, I never realized it until now. I'm like, I have to change something.
But that's a good amount of time. It's not like you're just like jumping every 6 months. Like 2.5 years, that's a good, well-rounded experience. And then you move on to the next thing,
Yeah.
That's not a bad thing.
But any other advice you want to give to those people who are just getting out of high school and they don't know what they want to do, or they're in college right now and they don't know where they want to be in their career? Any advice you want to give?
Yeah. So life is a journey. That's my first advice. Life is a journey. There's no rush. If you're in high school or if you're in your 20s, enjoy it. This is like a fun time, and work hard and build stuff. Oh, and save money.
Yeah.
Start an investment account like now, and you'll be good. Not to worry too much.
That's so true. Saving money.
Yeah.
I feel like I spend all my money like in my youth, like just drinking.
Oh yeah, dude. Drinking and shopping, like literally. But it's fine. Like, we live and we learn. But that's my advice for the underground. But just go for it. More than anything, just go for it.
Awesome. And where can people find you? Like on Instagram, YouTube?
Okay, so on Instagram, I'm at Christina's Life. And YouTube, you can look up Cristina Q. And that's me. My handle is really embarrassing, okay, because I made it when I was like 17, but it's Fantabulous 109.
I love it.
Look up Cristina Q. You should find me. I love Cristina Q. And then if you want to add me on Facebook, you can if you really want to. I'm at Rick Ross Loves Christina because I also made that when I was 17, okay? And I can't change it.
I love it, girl.
It's funny because I have like doctors that are my friend on Facebook, and I wonder sometimes if they see that, like that Rick Ross Loves Christina, when they put it on my profile.
Like, okay.
They're like, okay. But I don't know, I've had that profile since I was like 17, so.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, Facebook. I miss MySpace. Did you ever have MySpace?
I did.
Yeah.
That was awesome, dude. Those days were awesome.
Yeah, they really were.
Yeah.
All right, girl. Well, thank you for being on my podcast, for taking your time to be on this, taking time of your day. Thank you so much. Yeah, so everyone subscribe to Cristina, follow her on Instagram, and thank you for being on it.
Of course, I had fun. You're awesome,
Yeah.
dude.